Right then, November 2012, paper 1, non-calculator. Question 1, write down the coordinates of A. Well, A is there, that's 1 along and 6 up. So the coordinates of A are going to be 1, 6. Mark the midpoint of BC with a cross. Okay, so there's B and there's C, so the middle of them is going to be there. So there's a cross to mark that. Question C, work out the perimeter of the rectangle. Well, the perimeter is a distance around the outside, so we're just going to have to add up the squares around the outside. So starting at A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on top, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 squares all the way around. So the perimeter is 18. Question 2. Work out the following: 184 add 139. Right, lots of ways of adding. I guess a lot of you will use column method, which will go something like this. 4 add 9 is 13, so 3 and carry the 1. 8 add 3 is 11, and then the carried 1 makes 12. So carried 1, and then 1 add 1 is 2, and you carried 1 is 3. So your answer is going to be 323. I guess other ways you could do it. You could say, well, 100 add 100 is 200, and 80 add 30 is 110, and 4 add 9 is 13, and when you add them together, well, 200 add 110 is 310, add 13 is 323. So there's your answer, 323. Taken away, 362 minus 207, and I guess again a lot of you will do column method. And so, starting off, 2 take away 6, well, we can't do 2 take 6, so we have 2 take 7, sorry, so we have to borrow 1 from there and make that into 12. So 12 take 7 is 5, 5 take nothing is 5, and then 3 take 2 is 1. So there's your answer, 155. From 55. I guess if you don't like doing that, you could say, well, 362 minus 200 is 162. So 362 minus 207 will be another 7 less than that, which is 155. Or lots of different ways of doing it, but 155 is your answer. 2C, 8 times 65. And again, I'm guessing a lot of people on this will use the box method. There we go. So 8 times by 65. So 8 times 60, well, 8 times 6 is 48, so 8 times 60 is going to be 480. 8 times 5 is 40, and if you add them two together, you get your answer is 520. 520. I personally would have done, I think the same. 8 times 60 is 480, 8 times 5 is 40, put them together is 520. 138 divided by 6. So again, I'll do it in bus shelter because I think that's probably what most people will do. But I'll show you other ways of doing it as well if that doesn't work out. So start off, we do 6's into 1, well 6 doesn't go into 1, so we have to combine them two together. We do 6s into 13. 6s into 13 is 2. 6 times 2 is 12, and we're going into 13, so our remainder is 1. So that goes with our 18. Now 6s into 18, 6s and 18 is 3. So there is our answer, 23. Another way you could have done it is you could have said, well, 6 times 10 is 60, so 6 times 20 is 120, and then we need to get, well that's 120, and we need 138, so we need another 18 more. So 6 times 3 is 18. So 120 add 18 is 138, so our answer is going to be the 20 add the 3. So we put them together, and there's our answer, 23. Excellent. There's lots of methods for adding, taking away, times and divide, and 4 marks means you need to be secure at them. So whatever your method is, you need to make sure you're good at it. Work out the 2 missing values in this shopping bill. 4 donuts at 60p each, so that's £2.40. 3 coffees at how much each, we don't know what that comes to. Our total bill is £6. So, first job, to work out what goes here, we need to do £6 minus £2.40, and that is £3.60. So now we know that that is £3.60. We can now divide that by 3 to get the cost of coffee, which is £1.20. So there's our 2 answers, and 2 marks, so 1 mark for each one. Question 4. Write down the temperature shown. Well, between 0 and 5 there are 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going up in ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's 1 below that, so that is going to be negative 1 degrees Celsius. And this one's a bit trickier. So from 0 up to 100 there are 4 gaps. So 100 divided by 4 is 25. So each of these little lines are 25 each. So now to get the next one, there's 100 there, so that'll be 125 there, 150 and 175 grams is going to be our answer. Match each net with a solid. Right then, let's go through them. This one here, it's got a square on the bottom of it, and the 4 triangles at the side are going to meet at a point at the top, so that's going to be a pyramid, square-based pyramid to be precise. This one here, what we can see, there's the cube, and the cuboid is similar, but it's going to be rectangular in its shape. So that there is going to be a cuboid. And last one, well, it's a cylinder or a triangular prism. The triangles give it away a little bit. It's going to make a Toblerone shape, which is going to be a triangular prism. So that is that one there. 3 marks, so 1 mark for each on them. Question 4. Question 6. Alison records how many men and women attend her fitness class over 4 weeks. The bar chart shows the information for weeks 1, 2 and 3. How many men attended in week 2? So men attended in week 2, well, men are white, and that's week 2, so we're looking at that column there. So reading across, just check the scale first. 5, and there's 5 squares, so they're going up in ones, so that is going to be 12. So 12 is our answer to that one. How many people attended in week 3 altogether? Well, here's week 3 here. So we've got 15 men, and we have got 20 women. So altogether we're going to have ourselves 35 people. Sorted. 6C. Same bar graph. 40 people attended the class in week 4. Okay, so we haven't got any information there. There are 8 more women than there are men. Complete the bar chart for week 4. Right then, so we need to make it so there's 40 people altogether, and there are 8 more men than women. So let's make a little table up, like so. Okay, so 8 more men than women. Well, to make 40 we could have 20 and 20, but then we've got the same amount of men as women. If we go 8 more men than women than men, well, we could go 12 and add 8 on. But then to do that we've added 8 on to the women, 28, but then we've had to take 8 off the men, which is 12, and then the difference is 16, so we haven't got 8 between them anymore. So instead of going the full 8 up, we need to go 4 up, so it's going to be 16 men and 24 women. That way we add up to 40 still, but the men and the women have got 8 in between them, so 16 and 24. So completing the bar chart, it's going to start here, make sure it's the same width, that's a bit more difficult for me to do. It goes up to 16, so that's going to go to there, and then the women is going to go up to 24, which is there. There we go. Right, get a little key going on. Properties, there you go, that's white, so I've got the same, and that there is grey, so I've got the same colours going on. Alright. If not, you could write men and women on there, or you could shade this one in and leave this one unshaded. That would be fine. So that's 6C. 6D. Each week Alison pays out £30 to run the class. She charges each person £5 to attend. How much profit did she make in week 1? Okay. So first of all, how many people do we get? Well, there are 10 men and 15 women, which equals 25 people. Altogether, 25 times £5 is how much money she brings in for that. So 5 times 20 is 100, 5 times 5 is 25, so that's £125 that she's brought in. And then finally, she has been charged £30 to run the class. So 125 minus 30, which is £95. So the answer is 95 quid. Now then, 3 marks for that question. 3 marks, so I would be tempted to put all 3 bits of information there, the 3 steps that you've got. 10 plus 15 is 25, times 5, and then take them away. Okay, if we just go straight to the answer of £95 without this bit of working out that we've got, you're not going to be getting your 3 marks, you're probably only going to get the 1 mark for that. Number 7, here is a number machine. Work out the output when the input is 25. Okay, so if I put 25 in here, then I'm going to divide by 5, and I'm going to take away 2, and I'm going to get my output. So 25 divided by 5 is 5, and if I take 2 away, then my output is going to be 3. Alright, now they have given you some space there to do some working out on that one, so if you want you could write in 25 divided by 5 equals 5, minus 2 equals 3, but it's 1 mark available, so 1 mark, 1 answer. Here's the same number machine, work out the input when the output is 8. So if we've got the output and we want to get to the input, then we just do everything in reverse. So instead of dividing by 5 and taking away 2, we're going to add on 2 and times by 5 to get to our answer. Okay, so first job, 8 plus 2, the opposite of taking away 2 is 10, and then we're going to do 10 times 5, which is 50. So our answer is 50. It's worth checking these that you've got them right by putting 50 in. 50 divided by 5 would have been 10, take away 2 would be 8, and we've got our answer. Job is a good one. Number 8. Here are 8 coins. Ben and Yusuf take 4 coins each. They both have exactly the same amount of money. Which coins could they have each? Okay, how many marks is this? 3 marks altogether on this one. Okay, so if they've got the same amount of money each, then the first thing we need to know is how much money they've got altogether. So if we add them up, we've got ourselves 50p, add 20p, that's going to be 70, add 20p, that's 90 pence, and add 10 pence is going to be £1 on the top row, and then 5 pence, 7 pence, 8 pence, 9 pence, 10 pence on the bottom. So altogether, we've got £1.10. Now they both get the same amount of money, so we need to half that. Divided by 2, which is going to equal 55 pence. So now we know how much money they get each. They're going to get 55 pence each. So we now just need to find the coins, which is going to make that work, to make them have 55 pence. Now there's lots of ways you could do this one. Oh no, it's 4 coins each. Sorry, not lots of ways of doing it. So how could we make 55 pence with 4 coins? If we've got 50 pence, then to go with that we're going to need the 2 pence, the 2 pence and the 1 pence. And then that leaves over 20 pence plus 20 pence, 10 pence and 5 pence. To go with the other one. So I've made 55p using 4 coins. So I've put them that way round. They could go the other way round though and have them the other way round. Okay. Which question are we up to now? Number 9. What percentage of this shape is shaded? Okay. So how many have we got shaded in? Well, we've got 3/5 shaded in. Now if I want to know what that is as a percentage, so I need to write that over 100. So what do I multiply 5 by to get to 100? Or I multiply that by 20. So I need to do the same to the top, which is going to give me 60 over there. So now if it's 60 over 100, then my percentage must be 60%. And the other way you could do that is you could say you really should know that 1/5 is equal to 20%. And that's just a fraction that you should know as a percentage. So if 1/5 is 20%, then 3/5 is going to be 60%. Okay. Circle 2 fractions that are equivalent to 4/5. Okay, so 4/5. Well, first of all, we can't cancel it down because if we half the 2, we can't half the 5. So we're going to have to go the other way and make it bigger. So 4/5 equals, if I add 4 to the top and 4 to the bottom, and 5 to the bottom, then I'd add 8 over 10. If I add 4 to the top again, then I'll get 12 over 15. If I add 4 to the top again, it'd be 16, and 5 to the bottom would be 20, and again be 20, and 5 to the bottom will be 25. 25 is gone. There we go. So now which one's the same as 4/5? Well, we've got 2/10, no that's not on there. 6/8, no that's not on there, and that's 3/4, so it can't be that. 8/10, that is on there. So 8/10 is the same as this. 20/25, yep, that's at the end. And 8/9, well 8/9 can't be simplified, so no, can't be that. There's our 2. Work out 40% of 70. Okay, so whenever I do these, make a bit of a list. I say 100% is 70. I can do 50%, or 50% is going to be half of that, so that's 35. And I can do 10%, or 10% to go from 100 to 10% I'll divide by 10, so 70 divided by 10 will be 7. So now I've got that information, I can work out what 40% is. I could either do 10% times 4, which is 7 times 4, times 4, which equals 28. Or I could say 40 is 50 minus 10, which is 35 minus 7, which is 28 as well. Up to you. Number 10. That's when you start this means you're going to get a bonus mark for the way that you communicate your answer. It's paid £800 per month. So that's how much he gets per month. And he loses 1/10 to national insurance and 1/5 to tax. How much money does he have left over? So the way I'll be doing this one is I'll be looking at national insurance first. And national insurance is 1/10 of £800. Now to work out 1/10 of £800, we're going to do 800 and we're going to divide by 10. Whenever you're working out a fraction of an amount, you divide by the number that's on the bottom. So 800 divided by 10 is 80 quid. So that's the national insurance, and then we have to do the tax. So tax, we're going to work out what 1/5 of £800 is. So to work out 1/5 of £800, you need to divide 800 by 5. Okay. Well, 5's into 100 is £20. So 5's into 800 is going to be 8 lots of that, which is going to be £160. Okay, so answer to that is £160. Now if we're not too keen on doing it as quick as that, we could do bus shelter on it. So bus shelter on that, 5 into 800 is going to be, well, 5's into 8 goes once, and the remainder to that is 3. Then 5's into 30 is going to be 6. And finally 5's into 0 is nothing. So 160 quid. So final job, Harry is paid £800. How much does he have left over? So money left will be the £800 he had to begin with, minus £80 for national insurance, minus £160 for the tax. So taking them away, well, 800 minus 80 is 720, 720 minus 160 is 560. So the answer is £560. Question 11. Simplify fully 7a plus 3a minus 4a. Well, 7a plus 3a is 10a, and if you take 4a away from that, you are left with 6a's. So there's my answer, 6a. This one, 3 times m times 2 times p. So what we do for that one is we do 3 times 2, which is 6, and then times m times p. Well, it was times by, you just write it next to it algebraically, so our answer is 6mp. There's a star for that one, and there's only 1 mark available for it, so I can't see how you can do any more than put the answer on that one. Question 12. Fence sections are 5 feet long or 8 feet long. Okay, so we're either working in 5s or working in 8s. The side of a garden is 36 feet long. How many of each section are needed to fence the side without cutting any of the sections? Okay, so we have to use 5s or 8s, and it has to make exactly 36. So the way I would do this is I would write down my 5 times table first of all. So we could get on the 5s, we could have 5, we could have 10, 15, 20, 30, 35. And on the 8s we could get 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. So that is if we just had one or the other. What we can do is we can have a mixture of each. So essentially we need to find 2 of these numbers that are going to add up to give me the 36. So what 2 numbers are going to add together to give me 36? Well, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, well, 20 add 16 gives me 36, so they're going to be the ones I need. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 5-foot sections, because that will give me 20 feet, and then it's going to be 2 of the 8-foot sections, because that's going to give me 16, and 20 add 16 is the 36 feet that I need altogether. Question 13. The graph shows the midday temperatures in a seaside town for a week. What is the range of the midday temperatures? Okay, so range of the midday temperatures. Well, range is the highest temperature, take away the lowest temperature. So the highest temperature comes on the Saturday, which is 22 degrees. And then we're going to take away the lowest temperature, which is on Wednesday, which is 14. So 22 take away 14, which is 8 degrees Celsius for the range. So the answer to that one is 8. Question 14. Algebra. 4x plus 3y when x is minus 2 and y is 5. So first job then is to do 4 times our x value. Well, our x value is minus 2, so 4 times that is going to be negative 8. To that we're going to add on 3 lots of the y value. Well, y is 5, so 3 lots of 5 is 15. So minus 8 add 15, and minus 8 add 15 is 7. So there's our answer to that one, is 7. Expand and simplify 5x minus 3 minus 2x minus 1. Right, so the key to this one is to treat each of them as separate things. So first thing you're going to do is the 5x minus 3 bracket. Then when we've done that, we can then do the negative 2x minus 1 bit. So first job, 5 times by x, well, that's going to be 5x. Then we put a minus sign down, and 5 times by 3 is 15. So that's the yellow section dealt with. Now the difficult bit with these is the green section. On the green section we need to remember that that's minus 2 times x, not 2 times x. So minus 2 times x is going to be minus 2x. There. And then we're going to do minus 2 times minus 1. Or minus 2 times minus 1 is going to be positive 2. 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 negatives make a positive. So minus 2x plus 2 is our green section. Oop. What's going on there then? Alright, so final thing. Now we put together our x's, so we've got 5x minus 2x. Well, 5x minus 2x is 3x. And then we've got minus 15 plus 2. Minus 15 plus 2 is minus 13. So our answer is 3x minus 13. They're tricky, them ones, but hopefully that makes sense. Number 16. A school science department has 13 teachers. The stem leaf diagram shows their ages. So 2 next to 4 represents someone who is 24 years old. Okay, so we've got someone here which is 23, 27, 32, 32, 36, 38, 46, 49, 51, 55, 58, 59 and 63. So how many teachers are 50 years or older? Well, that's going to be everyone who's in their 50s and anyone who's in their 60s, which looks to me to be 5 people. Okay, so now to work out the median. The median is the middle number, so I take off the oldest and the youngest, the next oldest, the next youngest, the next oldest, next youngest, next oldest, next youngest, next oldest, next youngest, next oldest 49, next youngest 38, and we're left with our median, which is going to be that one there, 46. So our answer is 46. Right, so I'm just going to delete all there. Working out of there. Right, so the oldest teacher retires. So this one here retires and replaced with someone who is 22. So 22 is going to come in to there. So now work out the new median age. Again, highest and lowest. So highest, lowest, highest, lowest, highest, lowest, highest, lowest, highest, lowest, highest, lowest, and our median is going to be 38. Excellent. Number 17, work out the size of angle x. Okay, so it's angle x and opposite angles are equal to each other, so x is going to equal 64 degrees. Slightly more difficult, work out the size of angle y down here. Okay, so to work out the size of angle I, we've got a couple of choices. With x here, we've got ourselves a z angle, or alternate angle, like that. Now that means that this angle here, underneath here, is the same as angle x. So that angle there is going to be 64. So that angle in that little gap there is 64. Now we could have found that instead of using the z angle, we could have done that using an f angle, or a corresponding angle, by doing that line in there, line there, and this angle here and this angle here are the same corresponding angles. So either way we can get to this angle here being 64. Now once we know that's 64, I can see that that's on a straight line with y. So y is going to be 180 minus 64, which is 116 degrees. 116 degrees. C. Choose the correct word from the list to complete the sentence. Angle x and z are. So that's a bit loud. Angle x and z are line, and that are the same. So x and z are the same because we've got ourselves an F shape. Keep the proper name for an F shape is a corresponding angle. Angle. I guess we can type that in there as well. So F angles are corresponding angles, Z angles are alternate angles. Complete the single map shape B. Okay, so there's three types of transformations. There is a reflection, when it reflects over a line or flips over a line. We've got a rotation, when a shape is spun around, and then we've got a translation, when a shape is slid across the page. So there are our choices. We want to go from A to B, we can see we've just slid that across from one place to another. So the proper word for that is a translation. So that's lovely, and that will get you 1 mark for putting translation. To get the other mark you need to say what the translation is. So how have we gone from this shape to this shape here? How many up and down? How many left and right is it? Okay, so let's do our right first. I want to go from there to there. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the right, and then we go 1, 2 down. So 7 right, 2 down. There we go. Now that'll get you the marks, that'll be fine, although I know some of you will use a column vector that. So 7, -2. Where the top number of our column vector is how many left and right it's gone, and the bottom number is how far up and down it's gone. So you could write that as 7 minus 2 as a column vector, although I think leaving it as 7 right and 2 down is probably the best thing to do. Draw the reflection of shape B in the line y equals -1. So when y equals -1, first to find where the line y equals -1 is. So we look on the y-axis, and we look for the number -1, and we can see there it is. So our reflection line is going to be the line that goes through -1 on the y-axis. Is there. So reflection, that's 2 up, so we're going to go 2 down, and then that is our shape that's been reflected over. Like so. Excellent. Right, nearly done. Number 19. So on this one it says a game. In a game, players spin 2 wheels. The wheels are fair, so there's equal chance to land on everything. The numbers are added to get a score. The numbers show a score of 4 and 8, which is 12. So we can add them together, in other words, to get the score. Okay, so what they've done is they've given you a grid like this to help you do your workings out. So all I've done is I've filled the numbers in already on that one. So 1 add 1 is 2, 1 add 2 is 3, 1 add 3 is 4, 1 add 4 is 5, 1 add 5 is 6. Down here, 4 add 5 is 9, 6 add 7 is 13. So I've just added together the top numbers to the bottom numbers, the wheel 1 to the wheel 2. So they are all the different things that we could get there. Okay, so what is the most likely score? What number appears here more than any other number? Or we can see the numbers that appear on any other number is this diagonal here. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. So 9 is the most likely score. Now then, part B says score 2, 3, 15 or 16 to win a prize. Work out the probability of winning a prize. So to do that we need to see how many times these numbers appear all together. So there's one way of getting 2, there's 2 ways of getting 3, and 15's down here, we've got 1, 2. Okay, so how many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 altogether. Out of, well, there are 8 numbers by 8 numbers, so 64 altogether. So 6 out of 64 ways of winning. Out of 64 ways of winning. Now that answer is there, and that's fine and dandy. You can simplify it. It doesn't ask you to simplify it, but you can simplify it. So if you do simplify it, it'll be 3 over 32. Although I would be inclined to leave that as 6 over 64 because it hasn't asked you to simplify it, so I'd leave it as 3 over 32. 6 over 64, sorry, but if you want to simplify to 3 over 32, then you can. Number 20. The length of this rectangular tile is 6 times the width. So they've given you the width as x and said the length is 6 lots of that, 6x. They've put 2 together, and the perimeter of this new shape is 24. So let's put the information on that we've got first of all. 6x. Okay, so we know that that length is 6x on the top, and I know that that's 6x there, and then I know this side length here is x because it's the same as up there, which means that that length there is x, and that length there is x, and that length there is x. Now from earlier we should remember that the perimeter is a distance around the outside of this shape. So we know that the distance all the way around the outside of this rectangle is equal to 24. So what are they equal to? 6x, or if we go around the outside, we've got 6x plus an x plus another x plus 6x plus another x plus another x, which equals 6, 7, 8, 14, 15, 16x. So 16x is equal to the perimeter, which is 24. So now the next job is we've got to then work out what this is. So 16x is equal to 24, then x is going to equal 24 divided by 16. And that's quite hard to do. Personally, I'd simplify that fraction first, so I'd make that 12 over 8, which we can simplify again as being 6 over 4, which we can simplify again as being 3 over 2. Now that's a lot easier now, because 3 over 2 is 3 divided by 2, which is equal to 1.5, and 1.5. So I now know that x is equal to 1.5. Now there might be different ways of working out what x is. You could try Bush-Shuttle method and things like that, but you should get your answer as x being 1.5. Now finally, calculate the width of one of the tiles. Well, that is what x is, so there's your answer. X is going to be equal to 1.5 centimetres. Okay, that's a tricky question, that one. Hopefully it makes sense. Final question, 21. So we're going to try and work out what the size of angle y is. Well, there's angle y there and there. So, to do this question, well, the first thing worth noting is if these two angles are y, then them two angles are the same, which means it must be an isosceles triangle. So if that's isosceles, we can work out the angle at the top, and then we can work out what the other two are, hopefully. So first job, this angle in here is going to equal, well, 180 minus 90, because the right angle in the corner, minus 50, which is 40 degrees. So that angle in there is 40 degrees. And now once we've got that, we can then work out what this angle here is. So that angle in there is on a straight line with the other angle. So 180 minus 40, which is 140 degrees. So I know that this angle here is 140. So now what I can do is, I can say, well, I've got myself a triangle. Looks a little bit like this. Where I've got my y's, which is there, and there, and the angle at the top is 140. So 140 there, and I've got y there, and y there. Okay, now it's isosceles, so for what it's worth, I know this angle here and this length there and that length there is equal to each other, and that means, importantly, that these two angles at the bottom are the same as each other. So to work out what one of them is, I'm going to do 180 minus 140 gives me 40. To work out what one of them is, and then because there's two of them and they're both the same, I can do 40 divided by 2, because there's two of them, which is 20 degrees. So my answer is 20. Again, that's a tricky question, that one, so well done if you managed to do it, and hopefully it kind of makes sense now. I think that is the end. Yep, all done. Excellent news.